Hello again, this is Dave Erickson, and joining me today is Dr. Matt Silvers, Assistant Professor at Whitworth University in the Department of Health Sciences. And today we're talking about techniques, methods, and strategies you can use to successfully finish a marathon. And we begin with your 5-in-1 method. It's an interval type of running program or strategy to finish a marathon.
Yeah, that's correct. It's been quite successful for many people, and to be fair, it's not that I've created that, but several run coaches out there have used it with great success among their athletes. And the whole goal with running and walking is to try and establish a consistent pace that can be managed throughout the race. Many people are familiar with hitting the wall when they go a marathon, and oftentimes hitting the wall is attributed to either poor pacing early on or potentially poor nutrition during the race. And so what can be really handy for a lot of individuals is to set themselves up on a pace that allows them to run for a specified time period, followed by a brief moment of walking, and then to continually repeat that until they finish. So based on their goal time, they can set those run-walk times up appropriately. But what's successful for a lot of people is 5 minutes of running or jogging, followed by 1 minute of walking, and then repeat indefinitely until the marathon's finished.
Is this something for less wear and tear on your body versus just straight running the entire 26.2 miles?
Yeah, from a cumulative standpoint, I don't know if it actually decreases the stress on your body, but for a lot of people, it helps them focus on small checkpoints. One of the things that troubles a lot of people during long distance events such as a marathon is they have a tendency to lose focus without proper tools or reminders to keep them focused. So if you have this constant reminder to run or walk, you know that you can look forward to that every 5 minutes, and it just helps keep you focused on whatever that goal pace is.
Now, is there a minimum running, walking ratio or a maximum? Some people will shoot for that every mile or every aid station. Yeah. But is 2 minutes too short? Is 3 minutes too short? You have a 5-1 as an example.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. I think it's highly individual, so it depends on what the goal of the person is and often what the experience is. I think as a basic reference point for a lot of people, 1 mile minimum running or maybe 5 minutes seems to be a long enough distance where they're actually running the majority of the marathon. And then the walk break really isn't so much to give you a huge rest period as much as it is to just give you something to focus on so you can regather for that next running effort.
One good tool you can use is using your watch. For example, we have the Timex Run Trainer. In this one, you can set your intervals to alert you when you hit every 5 minutes and then again every 1 minute and repeat that.
Correct. Yeah, the way the watch is set up, you can specify those intervals. And as you said, if we were to go with 5 minutes and 1 minute, you can repeat that almost indefinitely throughout the marathon. Of course, if you decided that you wanted to set that up for longer time periods or distances, you can set the intervals up based on those as well.
And there's another alert system that's available on the watch. It's the eating and drinking alerts, which you can set for every 15, 30 minutes, however you like. And why is that important?
Yeah, the marathon's long enough that you can't race a marathon at least and hit the goal time you want without some sort of nutritional technique. You can complete a marathon, but really nutrition is of the utmost importance. And of nutrition, for most people, carbohydrates is most important. You can't expect to run an entire marathon at the same pace unless you bring in carbohydrates via gels or bananas, whatever food they're offering at aid stations, Gatorade, those kinds of things. So some people will often forget to eat because of the exuberance of the race. They're just jacked. There's a lot of people around, or perhaps they hit that runner's high, or perhaps they've hit the wall already and they need food and they're not thinking straight. So to try and prevent those kinds of situations, if you were to set up an alert system that reminds you when to eat and drink, then it takes some of the guesswork out of the whole marathon strategy.
And I've heard this growing up: if you're thirsty, it's too late.
That's correct.
Really?
Yeah. There's certain hypotheses out there right now that say that perhaps that's not the case, but generally speaking, most of the research supports that.
And so what would you suggest? How often would you want to drink and how often would you want to eat during a marathon?
Yeah, it's again, one of those things is the art of eating. So what can the person tolerate the best? And you have to figure that out with training. But general recommendations are hydrating maybe every 15 minutes and eating every 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, that's one of the strategies where you typically want to practice that in long training runs, and then figure out specifically what time frames and what you're eating or drinking that work best for you, and then setting your watch up based on those time frames.
All right, Dr. Silvers, thanks very much.
All right, you're welcome.